Looking at Google Docs. This video series is going to have Google Docs as the focus and a few different tips and tricks on how to use a Google Doc to support your students in your classroom. First off, I'm going to suggest that using Google Docs, you can actually take a table and use that to support your students. A common classroom scenario that I've run into is that a teacher will use Google Classroom to then share out to the class. But in doing this, somehow or another, all the document material was selected by the student and then deleted. Well, a lot of the reasoning I've heard is that the students will say, I didn't know where to type in my work. I didn't understand. So to me, boxes and blanks have been helpful for a lot of this. So we've seen PDF forms that have an underscore to fill in. So there possibly could be something like, it looks like this. The problem with doing this, the underscore, being supportive, that a student could figure out to put their information right here. But in a Google Doc, if they click here, it doesn't put it inside or on top of the line. How to do this sort of underlining or form work without actually the ability to insert a table. So here's what it looks like, something as simple as name and date. I'm going to do a 2 by 2 table. I'm going to use this little line right in the middle here, hover my mouse over that, and I'm going to choose to grab that little line and adjust it. Then now I've got the idea of a place for my students to write their name and a place for my students to write their date. I also use this um, with questions and in different formats for the questions. It can be the same concept to where there's the question on one side and the response on the other, which might look like this if you had the question at the silly option, which isn't really silly because science has actually answered this, and then use that same little line there to help out with resizing. And the students then have a place to put their answer. I also like the idea of inserting that table, but not making more than one column. Here's what I mean. One column to where and then put in. So now if they accidentally highlight and delete this as they're working, not a problem. The question is still there. So again, this is just supporting a simple idea that questions are asked of students and responses are needed. Questions could be something as simple as their name and date. Questions could be something for the why and answering the why. Having inserted tables can support your students in Google Docs this way.